Speaker.
William Seal.
Mr. Speaker, it used to be that this country of ours used to look forward to Budget Day, and both business and the workforce would look forward in the hopes that Budget Day would somehow give them hope to achieve some of our own individual and personal goal. But today was not such a day. I think the last day people sort of had hope in budget when the words were uttered in this House of the promise made by Mr. Key. What's that? No. Of a brighter future. The words were uttered today, about 8 years ago, that New Zealanders would have a brighter future. And so we have fallen away from the track of that brighter future, so far away. It's just not laughable anymore, Mr. Speaker. And I agree with some of the colleagues who have spoken that it is time for New Zealanders to start thinking about changing this government, that things will only get better if there is a change of government. And, you know, it used to be also that on nights such as this, the government would be producing legislation under urgency that will implement something significant in that particular budget. But tonight, sir, we've only got two pieces of legislation. This is this one here, and this one doesn't take effect until 2017. I don't know, sir, why we have not had the benefit of forwarding this piece of legislation to our select committee process, a select committee process which is admired worldwide. And this is an international issue. It's a global crisis where I do not believe that the information, the intelligence, the knowledge that is required for us to find the right solution for us to move forward on this is found in this House, least of all in that bunch over there. And so I would have thought that this government would take the opportunity to send this piece of legislation after the first reading and ensure that New Zealand, as widely as possible, had the opportunity to make submission on it. But alas, that's not the case. And so the bill, I don't know why we prolong this particular debate. It simply reduces, well, we're going to try and drag this out for as long as we can to ensure and punish that group there for not taking seriously the issues that New Zealand wanted to hear them fix tonight. That's not what happened tonight. So, you know, I do want to come back and acknowledge the minister, because as baby a step this is, it is an important step, and the Labour Party supporting it. And in fact, by acknowledging the mistake that they made in 2009, it also puts in a bad light Mr. Key, the Honourable Simon Bridges, and that other fellow that's no longer a Member of Parliament, who went to the Paris meeting last year, because they went to that meeting, sir, with all our hopes and aspirations, thinking that they were going to come back and make a real commitment to the Paris Agreement. This is all we get, is this baby step. And I want to challenge the minister. This is your time. This is your time to take over the reins from Mr. Key. This is your time to present a comprehensive plan about how we take seriously the issue of climate change. We are not immune from what is happening. And look, she said earlier in the first reading speech that they introduced this in 2009 because they did not want to see farmers hurt. Look, nobody wants to see farmers hurt. But she needs to take seriously that the issue here is about reducing significantly the fossil fuel emissions that we emit and send our signal to the rest of the world that we're serious. The fact of the matter of this baby step suggests, sir, that she is going to do as little as possible with regard to our commitments to the Paris Agreement, because she knows that none of that matters until 2020. She knows that it is on a voluntary basis. She knows that as long as they kowtow to business, to the fossil fuel industry, that they will continue to receive the support that they have so far received and being elected for the past 8 years. But it doesn't resolve, sir, the issue that if we want to be able to position New Zealand in a far better position and reclaim our brand of a clean, greener New Zealand, we've got to come up with much more than simply this. We've got to come up with a comprehensive plan, a plan that is going to reduce our fossil fuel emissions significantly, a plan that is going to encourage innovation, encourage investment in cleaner fuel, a plan that is going to transition business into the kind of workforce that we need to ensure that we meet our international obligations, sir. And it's much more than just doing the right thing for New Zealanders, for the rest of the world. We've also got to do the right thing for our own country. Twice now, this House has been presented with reports by the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment. And in those last two reports, sir, this House should take note how seriously she points out that we are now under threat from coastal erosions, that local governments around the coasts of New Zealand are in fear of the kinds of costs that they are going to have to bear. This little action here actually increases that. It increases the threat that we have to face. It increases the threat that business have to face. It increases the threat that our workforce have to face. And so far, we just seem to be thinking that this is going to be all right. So it's not all right. It's not all right. It requires, and I, you know, the minister might laugh when I say it's her time, but I generally believe that. I generally believe that this is her time, provided she is genuine about going further than what is presented tonight. We are here to pass this legislation under urgency, and I agree with Grant Robertson. It almost appears as if we're trying to fool the rest of the country by appearing to be busy, by appearing to do something, because the budget was lackluster and did not address any of the significant crises that this country of ours faces. So, sir, I would encourage the minister. I would encourage the minister, look, if you've taken this baby step, go further. Take the giant leap. Take the giant leap and do the right thing. Come up with a comprehensive plan. A plan where we encourage all the great minds of this country to participate in formulating a plan that shows that we take seriously climate change, we take seriously the impact of coastal erosions on our own country, we take seriously also our obligation to stand in solidarity with the Pacific who have said time and time again in the international arena that they are the canary in the tunnel. They are forewarning us for what is coming. What is happening to them is going to happen to us. And so far, we just seem to think that that's so far off. Sir, islands are now underwater. In the report that were released from Australia a couple of weeks back, islands are underwater. More and more of those people living in the outer islands of the Pacific are moving into the main islands, putting pressure on already pressured resources. Similarly, we are going to have to decide what we do, what our role is. When those islands, those main islands, come under threat, what do we do? And so, surely this government can begin to think long-term, come up with a comprehensive plan that realizes how important this issue is for ourselves and for the rest of the world.